Welcome back to 3 Up, 3 Downs, NL Central Division breakdowns. We're finishing her off with the Pittsburgh Pirates, the fifth place finishers in that Central Division. Let's take a look at this starting lineup and projected bench for the Pirates. Leading off, neilcruz, the shortstop, the young gun, the 24-year-old in his first full season, looks to lead off for this Pirates team. Next, Bryan Reynolds, a guy you didn't think would be on this Pirates team come opening day, but the fact is no one's made the move to acquire the left fielder. Bryan Reynolds, definitely the star stud of this cast, but we'll see what the future holds for Reynolds. After that, the Pirates legend Andrew McCutchen returns on a one-year deal to be the right fielder once again for this Pittsburgh team, followed by Carlos Santana, their new first baseman from the Tampa Bay Rays, JI-MANCHOI, followed by their third baseman, bryanhayes, Jack Sawinski, Rodolfo Castro, and Austin Hedges is the new catcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The bench is followed by Kevin Plawecki, G. Juan Bay, Connor Joe, and Travis Swaggerty. Alex, what do you got on this Pirates roster?
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty exciting. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't expecting – I kind of knew the moves, but it's different when you see them put in a lineup. Obviously, neilcruz, one of the most exciting talents in baseball. Just a freak athlete, like probably the fastest player in baseball. Got some of the most power in baseball. Can throw the ball like one of the hardest position players in baseball. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of tools, and he's like 6'5" at shortstop. And he's got a cool name, neilcruz, and he looks cool. Like, everything about neilcruz is cool.
I agree.
So I love that to start off. I'm interested to just see how he develops. Mm-hmm. He's a guy who doesn't need to develop fully to make an impact because he has so many, like, overwhelmingly good tools. But if he does, we're looking at, like, MVP caliber player. Like, he's that talented.
They've Fangraphs, our projection, who we've been using for our breakdowns, has him projected at 23 homers, 17 stolen bases, in 553 plate appearances. Impressive stuff for a guy who's cracking in as a rookie.
Yeah, totally. But then getting into the rest lineup, Bryan Reynolds, proven like borderline all-star type guy, like a really good player, can field well, kind of does everything well, switch hitter. McCutchen and Carlos Santana, kind of the blast from the past at 3-4.
Yep.
Interesting to see what they get out of there, but what they do for sure get out of there is two experienced veterans who are going to help this team. And I think having those two guys in the lineup is just going to help with like general like plate approach, and like they're not going to be easy outs. They know how to play this game very well. Obviously, they've been in the league this long, so I'm excited to see how those two go. JI-MANCHOI wearing number 91 this year. Always loved JI-MANCHOI. Just kind of a character on the field. So he'll be fun to watch. bryanhayes, a fantastic fielder, looking for the bat to develop a little bit more. It hasn't fully caught up to where he is in the diamond. So. I like this. I just kind of I think there's some energy in this lineup, and I like how they mixed in some veterans here. Yeah. I think it could fit pretty well, and maybe take a little bit of the load off of those young guns. So I like this. And a quick shout out Connor Joe. He'll get some utility at bats. He's got a good bat. That's all I gotta say. Like for a bench player, he's got a good utility bat.
Great name too.
Connor Joe.
Simple as it can be.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this rotation. My biggest question mark surrounding them. That it follows by Mitch Keller, Ronzi Contreras, Rich Hill, JT Brubaker, and Vince Velasquez is this rotation. The bullpen follows by David Bednar, Will Crow, Dwayne Underwood Jr., Chase DeYoung, Yeri De Los Santos, Colin Holderman, and a few others. What do you got on this rotation and bullpen, Alex?
Yeah, so the rotation is not good.
No.
Mitch Keller's developed pretty well. There was actually a pretty cool video that the Pirates just released of him being him being told he was the opening day starter.
Yep.
And it was a nice little wholesome moment, a little good behind the scenes stuff. A guy who wasn't the top, he was a second round pick, but was never like a truly top prospect.
Yep.
But there was always a lot of hype around him. And if he's finally put that together, that could be a good storyline to watch here for Pittsburgh. But then the rest, I mean, Ronzi Contreras, he's young. Kind of interested to see what he has. I'm not too familiar with his stuff. I know the name. But then Rich Hill, JT Brubaker, and Vince Velasquez are just inning eaters. I mean, they're older, and they're just there to eat innings. They're starting pitchers, and they were like, look, we don't need good starting pitchers. We need starting pitchers. And that's what the Pirates
need a body.
It's literally what the Pirates do. I mean, these are guys who are literally brought into all these teams to just be another starter. So it's, It's not good there. It's not good there, but it's also not bad. Like they are starting pitchers.
Yeah.
And they're not bad starting pitchers. They're not good. But I do kind of like the bullpen here. David Bednar was an all-star last year. Had a really good season, and I think is expected to have another good year.
Yeah.
In his prime years, he's going to be the closer. Wonder if he'll be trade bait. Only wonder that because it's the Pirates, and they love to trade their players away.
I agree with that.
They're one of those. Dwayne Underwood, a guy who's pitched for the Cubs for a while. I've always kind of just liked his game. He's like skinny and he's kind of small, but he throws good stuff. He's like a little crafty guy. So yeah, the bullpen's not good, but I don't hate it. Interested to see, if there's a little development there. I don't know, some breakouts. The pitching isn't really great. I think you're watching this team for what the lineup's going to produce, and it may not be great from the lineup either, but like it's interesting.
No, it's a team that I think is going to rely on scoring runs. It might be a little bit more high scoring baseball if the lineup can produce. They'll be in more games. I think they're more competitive than the Reds team that we just covered, but. Yeah, I don't know. I look at this rotation. It's filled, like you said, with guys that are just going to eat innings, and then you kind of turn it over to a bullpen that has a few quality arms and then has some question marks. I'd love to see what some of these younger guys in that bullpen are able to do for this Pirates team. Is it more trade bait? Is it a step in the right direction in the process of a rebuild for this franchise that has a historic history, being the Pirates? X factors. Who are we thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to go with – I'm not going to take O'Neill, even though I want to. I'm going to go with Mitch Keller. I want to see what he has, I talked about him briefly, but like a guy who I think may have – and he screams. Like if you ever watch the pitch, he screams a mid-career development. He's one of those starters who learns how to be crafty with the ball. Already is, but I'm looking for him to kind of step up and become – a top of the rotation pitcher. And I know he's the opening day starter, but it's the Pirates we're talking about. So their ace is not an ace. You don't call them an ace.
Yeah, no, establish himself as a major leaguer. I get it. I like it.
And it's like a top. Like I think he could be, if the season falls right for him, a true number 2 starter in the league, and that would be a good development for this team. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick. It's a different one. Well, it's not a different one, but I'm going to pick their best player, Bryan Reynolds, because I think there's so many question marks surrounding him in that clubhouse, given the fact that he wants out. He is a talented player. He's an all-star caliber type talent. Can he produce to that on a team that isn't projected to make the playoffs? I'm curious of what the effort and what ability Bryan Reynolds shows for this Pirates team, if that is that he is a Pirate for the long term or for a brief period in this 2023 regular season. Yeah.
And is he motivated?
Is he motivated?
A guy who thought he was going to be on like the Yankees or a contender is back with the Pirates. And I know you got Kutch back, and that's fun, and Santana, but is going to be motivated and potentially get that return at the deadline.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. In terms of predictions, I've got this team beating out the Reds for 4th, but that's about it.
Yeah, me too. They're not good at, they don't care enough to be good. And it's the most obnoxious thing about baseball that there are the owners in this league who, like, we talk about rebuilds.
Totally content with.
We talk about rebuilds for the Pirates. We talk about rebuilds for the A's and for the Reds. And it's like, oh, are you going to rebuild or are you just going to, resell? Rebuild to resell.
Yep.
It's infuriating because this team has some young pieces that I want to be excited about. I just don't see how it comes together because they'll never pay money to get there.
I agree. I completely agree. That wraps up our NL Central 3 up 3 down breakdowns. We've got 2 divisions left, the NL West and the NL East. Take a look on YouTube for all those videos to be posted shortly. If you feel like we've missed anything, Pirates fans, hop in the comments. Let us know. Go subscribe. Give us a like. Check out all the content that we've been posting from Star 6 Media. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the NL Central Division breakdown.